It's official, The Witcher 4 is on its way, and the folks at CD Projekt Red are pretty much fired up. While we have to wait a little while longer to actually get our hands on it, the first taste of its highly anticipated dark fantasy sequel has finally been revealed. At the Game Awards 2024 gave us a little bit of a 6-minute cinematic trailer, a very powerful atmospheric glimpse into the world of men, monsters and morality. But this time, it's not about Geralt of Rivia wielding his steel and silver swords. Now the torch has been passed on to his adoptive daughter, Ciri. This revelation changes quite everything. Now, we did expect it to some degree, perhaps Ciri could have been the main protagonist within the story, but CD Projekt Red is taking quite a bold leap forward, giving us a new protagonist, a fresh story, and a reimagined gameplay experience. I want to dive into everything that we know so far, of what the developers are aiming for, and what this means for both die-hard fans and of course the newcomers to the series. So, for the first time in the series, Ciri steps up as the main protagonist. Now we've seen her played and portrayed, even you could play as her, during The Witcher 3. But Ciri actually feels like a natural evolution of her character, right? Since her introduction into Witcher books and her pivotal role in The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt as mentioned, fans have been captivated by her strength, her vulnerability, and her unique abilities. This decision isn't just about passing the torch, it's about exploring new territory. And of course, Ciri is not exactly like Geralt. Where he is stoic and calculating, she's kind of like fiery, impulsive, and deeply emotional. Now, the developers at CD Projekt Red mentioned that they're leaning more closer towards the traits to create a narrative and gameplay experience that feels distinct. As one of the team members puts it, Ciri isn't neutral. She never really was. She always chooses something, and that's a totally different thing, and I quote that. This sets the stage for the game filled with passion-driven choices. Now, unexpected consequences included, and of course the protagonist will truly wear her heart on her sleeve. Now, for the fans who might be wondering how Ciri is even alive, and a Witcher given, because it has multiple endings of The Witcher 3, CD Projekt Red has hinted at a clever narrative solution. Now, they left some breadcrumbs, like swallowing symbols of the announcement art, suggesting that the game will honor past choices while carving out its own paths. Now, it's a tightrope walk, for sure, but one that CDPR seems confident about navigating. Now, one of the most exciting things about The Witcher 4 is that CDPR commitment to giving players more tools and more freedom, and more ways to shape their journey. Now, building on the lesson learned from Cyberpunk 2077 and of course The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, the team is doubling down on the player's agency. This isn't just about branching narratives, it's about creating gameplay experience that feels, personal. Ciri being younger and less defiant than Geralt is a kind of like a perfect canvas for this approach. Now, the developers want players to feel like they're helping her write her own kind of codex, making decisions that shape not just the story but also how she grows as a Witcher. From combat styles to how she interacts with the world, everything about Ciri's journey will reflect her individuality and by extension, of course, the player's choices. Now, it's actually also worth noting that CDPR is taking cues from Cyberpunk 2077, more varied and flexible gameplay system, such as like skills, builds and combat style will of course be a bigger role this time around, and allowing for more creative approaches to encounters. Now, of course, imagine like crafting a version of Ciri that fits your own vision. Whether she's a reckless brawler, a precise swordswoman, or perhaps something in between. Now, the Northern Kingdoms have always been a living, breathing character in the Witcher series, and The Witcher 4 promises to take this even further. The world will not only be vast and detailed, but also deeply reactive. Every choice you make as Ciri will ripple through the world, affecting not just the story but also how NPCs and factions respond to you. And we've kind of already seen this in The Witcher 3. And as such, this dynamic approach to world building isn't exactly news to CDPR, but they're aiming to push the boundaries. Drawing from the success of the Phantom Liberty, the acclaimed expansion for the Cyberpunk 2077, the team is focusing on creating a cohesive experience across main quests, side missions, and of course smaller adventures. And of course the goal is to make every moment, no matter how small it is, quite feel meaningful. Now, it's impossible to talk about CDPR's future without addressing their past. The launch of Cyberpunk 2077 was, to put it mildly, quite a damn mess. But the team has taken lessons quite hard to their hearts. And the development process for The Witcher 4 has been restructured to prioritize quality, coherence, and crucially, a healthy work environment for the team. In the wake of Cyberpunk's infamous crunch, CDPR is taking a more of a measured approach. The studio has adopted new production practices that emphasizes careful planning, clear communication, and of course realistic goals. Now, this shift isn't just about avoiding another launch debacle, it's about fostering a creative environment where the developers can do their best work. As one team member puts it, and I quote, "We're planning in a way that allows everyone to have fun with what they're doing. That's what makes the quality so high." Now, one of the biggest challenges CDPR faces is making The Witcher 4 accessible to new players while staying true to its series' roots. After all, it's a decade since Witcher 3 launched, and a whole new generation of gamers have emerged since then. The team's solution? Well, creating a game that feels like coming home for long-time fans, but also serves as a welcoming entry point to the newcomers. This means designing a story that doesn't require prior knowledge of the series while still rewarding those who've been along for the ride. The cinematic trailer alone hints at this dual focus, offering both a nostalgic nod to the series' lore and a clear introduction to the series' character. You perhaps already noticed how similar the first cinematic trailers were for The Witcher 3 and of course The Witcher 4. At the heart of The Witcher 4 is Ciri's personal journey. The game picks up as she undertakes the trial of the Graces, the dangerous procedure that transforms ordinary people into Witchers. This moment is quite pivotal, not just for Ciri but for the series as a whole. It's actually a chance to explore what it means to be a Witcher for the new perspective, and one that's less about duty and more about the heart. Now, Ciri's trials won't just be, physical. Her story promises to delve into themes of identity, legacy, and of course her choices. Now, can she forge her own path while honoring the legacy of Geralt and the Witchers who came before her? And what will that path look like? Of course, that really is depending on the choices that you make within the story. Now, looking ahead, and at least right now, all we have is this cinematic trailer. A beautifully crafted 6 minutes that offers just a taste of what's to come. Every frame is packed with detail, from the haunting landscapes to subtle nuance of Ciri's character. It's clear that CDPR is pouring everything they've learned into this project, aiming to create something truly special. But there's still a long road ahead. The developers are taking their sweet time, ensuring that The Witcher 4 lives up to its legacy. For fans, the wait might be agonizing. But if CDPR can deliver on their promises, I actually think it will definitely be worth it. Just so you know, this game is not coming out anytime soon, not even in 2025. So at the very earliest, I'll say it will be the somewhat late of 2026. Nevertheless, I still believe if they need to take their time, take the time. So, Witcher 4 isn't just a new chapter to the beloved series, it's a statement of intent. It's a chance for CD Projekt Red to prove that they've learned from their mistakes, to push the boundaries of storytelling and gameplay, and to introduce a new generation of players to a magic of The Witcher. And of course, as we wait for more details, there's one thing is quite clear. Ciri's story is just the beginning, and it's going to be one hell of a ride, and I personally cannot wait. Thank you so much for watching. Do let me know as well, what do you think about The Witcher 4? Were you excited for it? Are you excited for it? I cannot wait to play this game. It's gonna be definitely exciting. See you guys all, like and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.